Witam serdecznie, z tej strony Łukasz Przelaskowski i broadcast Studio ROLF, Muzyka ROLF. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in new broadcast Studio ROLF Music ROLF. This is special broadcast for artists. We have special interview for the all artists with all words. Today we have part 2. Artist from Los Angeles. Who is that person? Everyone may be thinking. Please, I little bit explain. Who is that? A contemporary blues writer, composer, artist. In the top 20 of Radio Online LUKAS Frankenstein chart, her new single To Blind of Loving, which announced the new album, moved from the 10 places to 7 after the first week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome YAEL James. Good morning, YAEL.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice
It's
to- nice to
YAEL.
see you.
I will fix you so people can pronounce my name. I know it's a little hard. It's
Yes.
YAEL James. Yeah.
YAEL.
Yes.
I'm so
Mhm.
sorry.
No worries.
All right. We have a small problem technique in the first moment, but don't worry now. I fixed that, so everything is fine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for the guests, please wait after the question what I ask for the guests, for the YAEL. And after that, we tried to find that all question what you're sending for us on social media. You can watching for us on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and many other places. All the information you can find on lukasfrankenstein.com and also links on the posts on our social media when we today share all information that. And now we have a special person, Miss Maria Oleszczuk. She's from Poland. She sent she said welcome and greetings for us.
Thank you so much.
Hello from Poland.
Thank you so much. Hi.
All
thank
right.
you so
So we
much.
have the first person who coming and connected with us. It's very nice. All right. We need to start with a question because that opened a great conversation.
Mhm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First, I'd like to ask, who is YAEL James off stage? How would you describe yourself to people and who hearing you for the first time?
I would say, and it's very strange because, you know, when you're on stage, you're singing, you're very publicly, you know, comfortable. I would say I'm a little bit more on the shy sometimes, shy side. I was also a yoga teacher for a long time, so spirituality is a very big part of my life. I'm a beach lover. I grew up on the beach, so I have more of a calm, quiet, private life outside of the studio and off stage. Yeah.
You currently live and work in Los Angeles, but we know that New York was also a very important part of your life.
Yeah. Yes.
What was journey like between the two cities, and what did each teach you?
I feel like in New York is where I really did my early training as a musician, as a writer, as a singer. The life is very busy over there. Everything is, you know, always open late. You have so many, a large variety of jazz bars and blues clubs. So it really gave me, it enriched, I would say, my soul and my heart with all these beautiful sounds and everything a big city has to offer. LA provides me with a more of a calm atmosphere, more of a calm energy by the beach. So I would say both contributed to the person that I am today, as well as to my writing, because even here I was exposed to incredible musicians. I had an amazing vocal teacher. She also sang backup vocals on my record. So I'm very grateful. She was one of the original icons. She used to sing for Tina Turner and Ike Turner back in the day. So I would say both cities contributed so much to my growth, to my musical growth as well.
What was your childhood like, and when did your music become an important part of your life?
Mm. I would say very early on. My mom says at 4 or 5 years old, I used to dance and, sing to family that came to visit us. My childhood was very happy. I'm a middle child out of five siblings and an Aquarius, so always trying to experience new things. Art was always a very big part of my personality. Um, and it's always been important. Yeah, I was on stages from a very young age, dancing classical ballet, performing in school choirs. Later on in musical theater, I did that for a couple of years. So I would say for the first strong 20 years of my life, it took a very big place.
What was, in your biography, you mention that age of 22, you arrived
Mm.
in New York with one suitcase and big dreams. What do you, yeah, what do you remember most about that day? What is excitement or fear of the union?
Mm. I remember landing in JFK with my large suitcase, and then I said, "What did you do? What were you thinking? You don't know anybody over here." And I had, about 5 minutes of panicking. But after the 5 minutes, I said, "Okay, I came here because I want to do music." So
Mhm.
pretty quickly, I learned the subway system and got a job and got to know some really, really dear friends who fortunately took part in recording on this album. So I'm very, very grateful for that friendship and these special musicians that you hear on Too Blind and the rest of my album. So these are all connections I made in New York during that time. But yeah, it was a pretty bold move looking back now. I can't believe I did it.
Uh, was there a moment when you thought music will be my lifelong path? What you have in mind?
I think I always knew that. It's always lived inside of me. Um, and unfortunately, I took a long break from music um, um, due to different, life choices. And I remember during COVID, when everything kind of shut down and stopped, I was everybody was forced to slow down. And then I said to myself, what is it that I really want to do with the rest of my life? There's a crazy epidemic. People are supposedly dying everywhere.
Mhm.
And I realized I do not want to get to 80 years old and understand that I never even tried. And music was still kicking and very much alive inside of me. So COVID was when I really started, producing that idea of working on an album. I started writing a lot more. And I would say that was a moment where it kind of woke up again. Yeah.
We have another person who wants to say
Mm.
hello all. So
Hello.
Beatrice, greetings for you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
Uh,
coming.
yes, and another question, of course.
Mhm.
You once said that New York was the place where you truly received your musical education. What happened
Mm.
there that was so special?
I think it was being more exposed to that lifestyle of people living for the music. It's something that was in me for a really long time. But I think I was really exposed to people actually making not just a career, but a living out of it. Because I think in today's world, especially if you grew up in a more traditional home, uh, the process is, get a degree, go to university, get a real job, right? So music in many, many ways in a lot of uh, households is not considered a real job. And that was the first time that I said, okay, what if I can do what I love and turn it into my life? And I think that kind of opened up a door. I went to the village almost every night after work, different spots. I'm sure they've changed because it's been a while. The Blue Note was one of them. I remember Cafe Wa. And every night there was a different band. They played soul, they played jazz, they played R&B, rhythm and blues, funk. And I was almost like so thirsty to just, get all of these sounds. So literally every day I would get off from work, take the train, go to the village, have dinner there and watch a show and just see these incredible musicians and incredible singers get on stage. And that was life changing for me, where I kind of understood it's possible.
Mhm. I
Hmm.
believe it. A person who want to be really good music and professional, this is also a lot works and
Yeah.
tired. We can say it, the words to be tired. It's definitely
Right.
and.
Oh yeah.
So it was not easy that how is yet the artist on the scene, because after second scene what you publish in the last small material on the Instagram,
Hmm. Yeah.
it was show how it was really um, I think little bit psychology. It's
Hmm.
also connected with the person before start sing and before connected with the music.
Hmm.
And so I think this is very hard to for the artist what usually not say it a lot about that second scene. What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Um, I think it's hard for some artists because maybe some are trying to, show this persona where everything is good and everything is great. I think especially being an independent artist, it takes so much willpower and it takes so much drive and dedication. I can definitely tell you this was not a smooth sail at all, by far. This is probably the hardest thing I've done in my life. There were a lot of road bumps. I would say the most important thing is really not to give up, because you have so many moments that can break you. I have a full-time job that I have to still function and work and pay the bills and pay for the music. So it's a little bit different when you don't have the financial backing. And it does put a lot of stress on you. I'm very tired. My lifestyle is, I don't have a lot of social life. It's work in the studio, work in the studio, which I love. But yes, you need to definitely take care of yourself, on the psychological aspect. A lot of pep talk. If this is really what you want, you just plan everything accordingly, and things can happen. It is possible.
And what you to
Um,
do to have the balance between the work to be musician and,
mhm,
and after second stand with your normal life,
mm,
because sometimes people go to the meditation, sometimes people
mm,
go to the swim, sometimes
mhm.
people need to go to something nature. And
Yeah.
what you choose? What is your option for motivation, inspiration? Reading the book.
Well, I haven't, unfortunately, I love reading books. I didn't have a lot of time to read books in the
Mhm.
last 3 years. But for me, I'm very grateful that yoga has been a very big part of my life over the last 10 years. I was a teacher for a while. So definitely meditation, sometimes a light physical practice, and beach walks. That's definitely my go-to when I need a break from everything. I'll just put on my headphones, listen to
Mhm.
my music, walk for an hour and a half, just kind of get all my thoughts together, because there's really so much that happens as independent artists. You're responsible for everything. So from flying the musicians in to getting the schedule right, I was very much hands-on this project. So everything from the editing, choosing the right, versions, kind of connecting all the dots. So it definitely takes so much out of you that, yeah, the beach walks were the most calming factor for me, at least.
Greenwich Village has
Mm.
been a birthplace and many musical legends for decades. Do you have any memories from that time that particularly influenced your work?
Mm. Yeah, I have several. I have several. Yeah. Um, I remember this one particular show, that I went to watch, and there was incredible musicians on the stage, and a beautiful singer, and she was singing. I think it was a cover of Amy Winehouse,
Mm.
and she did a really good job. And then she messed up some of the lyrics. And I remember this was a really big thing for me. Still is. I'm terrified to, what if I get on stage and I forget the lyrics? And she just carried on. She was laughing. She sang something a little bit else. She, invited some new lyrics into the song, but it
Mhm.
worked. Everybody was happy. Everybody was clapping. And I think this was a really memorable moment for me where I realized it doesn't have to be perfect. And in most cases, singing live, it's not going to be perfect. But I think that kind of delivers that humane touch in real music, in
I
real
think
time.
I think it's also important to have around for self the good groups, people who
Yes,
give you motivation, inspiration, and
definitely.
always give you hands if you need if you have hard situation. Because
Yeah.
if we have that situation, what you say it now, and
Mhm.
now it's a beautiful people because people have the respect.
Mhm.
People have the
Yeah.
respect for the person who have a be a grave, go to the scene and tried
Mhm.
to sing, and they don't care she forget or but she still
Yeah.
continue improvisation. So
Exactly.
this is a beautiful when people connected with the person and giving much power if the person expect in the first moment
Mhm.
before start singing.
Mhm.
I think
Very much so.
this is very important to find that groups and have it that around for self that groups who join with you good energy.
Very much so.
Okay. Were there moments of doubt when you thought music might not be your path after all? How did you cope?
As I mentioned earlier in our talk, there was a
Mhm.
time where I stepped away from the music. Um, and I think during that decade, it was about 10 years. Um, it was really devastating for me. I wasn't happy. You know, I was, of course, working. I was, married at the time, doing everything that a, good wife is supposed to do in a marriage. Um, but something inside of me was, or as my mom said, it's almost like someone turned your light off. And I want to say it was a very sad time for me because that major part of me, I would say the most important part of who I am was kind of put in a small box. And yeah, during that time, I thought I was finished with music, and I tried to make peace with it. Obviously, I didn't because I'm here uh, producing this beautiful album. So,
If I can something send small information. Couple months
mhm.
ago, I see interesting movie documentation when
Mm,
the young people asking another young people can they interesting about new job, and they said of course what is the job they asking, and the person said who asking this is a very nice job. You must work only 24 hours per 7 days. You must cleaning, you must always listening, you must everything wash, you must everything do it. And if you be tired, nobody asking you you are tired. You must work. And the people said, no way, that work not exists. And after that, the
mm.
person said, but this work what to do your mom.
Mm,
And after that, they only a little bit smiling and said, yeah, I have
yeah,
respect for that.
yeah.
So sometimes we not see that what giving for us, the parents, the mom. So
Hmm.
the best greetings for all moms for the world, the
Yes,
song is sending, and for
yes.
fathers also. So thank you very much for you are still with us. And if you're not
Mm,
still with us, we always be remember about you.
hmm.
So another question.
Okay.
You wrote song for many years. Why did you
Mm.
decide to release your own album now?
Um, I, as a yogi, I always believe that everything happens in divine timing. And I feel like, uh, me personally, as a human being and as a woman, I needed to evolve to a moment where I can not just produce this beautiful project, but I can carry this responsibility that comes with it. And if I look back, you know, the name of the album is Your Only Woman. That song was written, I wrote it 20 years ago, which is a really long time. But some of the songs that are going to be on this record, I wrote during COVID. I wrote some of them 3 years ago. So it's within the last 2 decades that I collected all these materials. And I feel like it took this long because I was on a journey. And this album takes you through a really special and a very deep and emotional journey. And this is the moment that I was ready to release it.
So we can say this also that same answer for the question, what happened to your life when you said, I'm ready to share my story with the world?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And also I wanted to perfect, I'm a perfectionist, for better or worse. So I wanted to make sure, even though we finished recording almost, I want to say 7, 8 months ago, we finished everything. I still went in back with the edits to make sure everything is perfected because I knew what I hear in my head. And I wanted to make sure I'm going to make it as accurate as possible because the way that I hear it in my head and the way that I feel it in my heart, that's what I want to deliver to my audience, to my fans.
I can imagination how it was really hard to work with the person who wants to be everything 100%,
Yeah.
because if we have studio and yeah, your band's person who play the guitars and another person who play in the bass and another instruments, and one day they have a phone and somebody said you must back and record one more time that. You had that situation with your artists?
I actually didn't. I have to say that I had brilliant musicians on this record. I flew them in from New York to LA. We were in the studio for 2 full days, and it was amazing. We took 3 takes per song, and it was always a third take that was the winner. They were incredible. It's almost as if we all became one in the studio, and they were able to channel everything that I created into those instruments. And I think you can hear it
Yeah,
definitely in
definitely.
this song. So with that, there were no problems. It was like magic.
Who was
Yeah.
your first musical influence?
I want to say Etta James.
Oh,
Yeah, she was the
and
first one that really grabbed me right here.
what was that moment in your life when that happened?
I remember I lived in New York at the time. I was in my very early 20s, and I remember I heard that song, and it's almost like I had an outer body experience. It's almost I could feel her pain, right? She projected it so well that I felt like it was me in that story reliving her pain and her moments.
Oh yeah.
And that was a very, very emotional thing for me. And I recall, listening to all of her records. Um, but especially I'd Rather Go Blind. There's something particular in that song of hers that just grabbed me so hard that I said, I want to make sure I deliver my feelings and what I went through and my life story the same way that she did. I want to touch people the same way that she did.
Yeah, it's
And there's so many great performers and singers that are here and already left us. But to me, it always felt like she delivered in the most accurate way. It's almost like she takes you into her pain. And I think it's not everybody is able to do that. You have so many great vocalists, but her, I have to give her
magnetic,
that.
magnetic.
Yeah.
Something connected between you and she is something magnetic.
100%.
And who is your role model as a person?
Mm. I want to say I always, I would say my mom.
It was
Uh,
great. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, my dad passed away 12 years ago, so it was very emotional. And my mom is, yeah, she's one of my closest friends. I would say the closest friend I have in this world. And she gave me so much support when I decided to go down this path and do this. And she said to me, she said, I gave you life. I want you to be happy. And she said, if this is what's going to make you happy, then go for it. And she was my go-to when things kind of crumbled, or, there was so many road bumps. I had a car accident in the middle of recording this album. So, I was out for about 8 months, and she always kind of, when I needed that push of strength, she was the one. And she said, you got it. You got it. You have a story to tell to the world.
It's beautiful.
So, yeah.
And influence of blues, jazz, and soul are evident in your music?
Yes, I would say all of the above. And I think it's mostly because of the very rich musical introductions that I had from a very young age. Yeah, I used to listen to, of course, Etta James, Nina Simone, Ray Charles. Love the sounds. Of course, Amy Winehouse also took a little bit of, everything. So she was magnificent. She was incredible. Her writing and her musicality. Aretha Franklin, of course. I feel like I grew up in a generation where all the greats were still around. And so I was very blessed.
Do you take comparisons of their singers as a compliment of what you rather be perceived solely as Jail James? YAEL. Sorry, YAEL.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it. It's okay.
I tried.
It's almost
Yeah.
there. I actually take it as a compliment, because I do believe there's great vocalists out there. So, oftentimes I heard people say that I remind them of Sade, who's one of my all-time favorites, and I idolize her as an artist. And what else I heard? A little bit of Boy George in some of my vibratos. So I take it as a great compliment, because I think these are incredibly gifted singers. But I also do believe that I've created a little bit of my own sound. So you are going to hear the influences, of course, of all the greats, from the instrumental part of my records, and into the vocals. But I definitely have my own little stamp there. So I hope people are going to be happily surprised and will enjoy this music very much.
Another person sent message, hello from Israel. And the big piece, 2 fingers.
Hello.
Yeah. So all words listening for us. It's nice
Yes,
to know
it's
it.
nice.
Greetings for you. Thank you for your comments, and
Thank you so much.
thank you for listening for us. All right. Another question, of course, because we have it a little bit more than questions.
Of course. Let's go. I'm ready.
If you could record a duet with any artist in music history, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. With love and respect to everyone I admire, I would have to say Ray Charles.
Oh my God. Really?
I would, yes.
It's beautiful.
I would have loved to. I would have loved to. I think the man was a walking genius.
And okay, with the man version and the woman?
Woman version, I think I would be way too insecure to sing with Etta James. I would probably pass out if I had the opportunity. I would say maybe Amy Winehouse.
Oh.
I would say maybe Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
I would have loved. I think it would have been a really interesting combination of our voices together.
What is your creative process like? Does a story, melody, or emotion come first?
I want to say, of course, the emotion has to come first, because everything that I write comes from, my personal experiences. So it could be me thinking about a specific moment in my life or experience. I generally hear music and I do believe it's channeled from upper realms. So as soon as I hear it, now I've gotten accustomed to run and grab my phone and sing it into the phone, record it. Yes, because I can't tell you how many times I was like, okay, I'm going to remember, and I forgot. And I do believe that when it's channeled, you have to stamp it down. So I'll record it, and then I'll grab my guitar or sit with a keyboard, and the lyrics kind of just flow. So yeah,
Fierce emotion.
fierce emotion.
I
Always.
remember I read a couple days ago the article with a popular music, and he was a person who opened the band. Maybe I not say it with the name to
Mm-hmm.
people have the problem or something suggestion with another people, but he
Mm.
opened the band, and after that he quit, and many years he not play. And a couple of days ago, he published on social media. He back to the studio and start record new material. And what
Mm-hmm.
is connected between that your answer and that person's story? He say
Mm-hmm.
the last couple of years I record couple songs, so I have it
Mm-hmm.
about 4 or 3 full hard disk with a couple
Wow.
terabyte with a lot songs, and I don't know what I can choose. so
That's the tough part,
so so I
choosing the ones.
so I believe it in your phone you have it also a lot potential music what you can choose on the future, and of
Yes.
course all music we want to publish and play on radio online. Lucas Frankenstein, what you
Thank
listen
you so
now.
much. Thank you so much.
If people are listening for us, I want to say that you can vote for James to the top 20 list Radio Online Lucas Frankenstein on Facebook. And it was be nice because I think it was really great artists with wonderful voices and what we can
Thank
say,
you.
and the music and who play with YAEL. So it was very great connected with the
Thank you
soul,
so much.
jazz, and R&B and blues
Mm-hmm.
and jazz, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a beautiful song, what I think giving a lot inspiration, motivation, a lot people. So that's why you need listening live
Yes.
online top 20 list between Monday and Saturday to 6 morning and 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 18 p.m., and 10 p.m. This is the difference time. We have 9 hours, so that's why we also playing
Yeah.
in Europe. What start
Thank
in the
you.
morning in your country, and
Yes.
so we must remember about all people on the world.
Yes.
Um, all right. So another questions, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also derive inspiration from other people's stories with writing songs?
Um, I do sometimes, not necessarily in this album.
Hmm.
Um, there is a special song about I wrote about a dear friend of mine that's unfortunately no longer with us. And it might come in the second album. But yeah, sometimes I do, because I believe, underneath it all, the religion, the race, the color, the language, or other barriers, we're all the same. We feel the same. We believe the same. We die the same. So for me, it's something that a lot of these emotions are intertwining, and it's really interesting to see that, yes, I can write about my personal experience, but also about other people's, and I think there's a quite a lot of beauty in it. Um,
Person
yeah, she
from
was she
Israel
was
sent message. It's alive. Yes, it's alive. Mm, okay, so let's start spoke about the last single. How did the
Mhm.
idea for the Too Blind of Loving come about?
I wrote "Too Blind of Lovin'" right during COVID.
Hmm.
Um, I was going through separation from my husband at the time, but followed by the divorce. And "Too Blind of Lovin'" was born from a very raw place, a very raw emotion where And I believe a lot of people can relate to that. Oftentimes, we can fall in love with someone and we can portray this beautiful life. We grew up on these Disney movies where you enter
Oh,
your prince and you get
mhm.
married and you live happily ever after. And sometimes it's not the case. Um, and I think oftentimes a lot of us are so blinded by either loving the person or seeing the potential in that person and that relationship that it's very hard for us to look at the reality in the face and say this is not the same person anymore, or the situation simply doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like as human beings, we want to hold on to that faith and that belief so much that a lot of us find ourselves lingering in places that we shouldn't be anymore. And sometimes it takes time for the heart to accept what the mind already knows. And when they're both synchronized, you can actually see exactly what you're dealing with. And maybe you can have the the courage to walk away.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that song came from a very, very real and raw and emotional place of really loving a person and seeing them on a path of self destruction. And this was a very good lesson for me also as a human to understand that we are not responsible to save somebody else. I have my soul journey, they have their soul journey. And sometimes, even though we go in parallel paths, they do split. And it's okay. And it's okay to feel everything. I feel like grief is a very strong emotion. You can go back and forth on those feelings. It goes from angry to sad to crying to mourning the relationship, mourning the broken dreams. All the plans you had when you vowed to have a forever with someone. So it's a very complex process that I'm happy to share with the audience. And if I can, help someone that's going through a similar situation, even just a bit with the song, um, that that fills my heart because at the end of the day, life is not easy. We get a lot of ricochets, um, and nobody really talks about it. I think in every religion, a divorce is not an easy thing. It's looked upon in a certain way. Everybody always has something to say. People have opinions, but at the end of the day, you know what you're feeling inside and what you're going through. And so hopefully this will be a nice support for people that find themselves in a really painful situation. And if I can say, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you can certainly heal and live your soul purpose, live your life purpose. Yeah.
I think the life is like the book, have many chapters,
Yeah.
and only we can decide that when the first chapter is stopping and the next chapter it was starting. If we decided and we
Hmm.
understand that the last chapter, so we open the new doors. I think
Yeah.
Jim Morrison tried to find answer for that with the band the doors, and
Yes.
when he writes and reading that another poets, but
Mm,
yeah, always poets try to understand the love, but
mm,
who wants to understand the love? I think everyone, but we don't have the key for the love. And
no.
I remember the many years ago when I spoke with my father, he said, you have all life with a second person. If you open at your chapter to
Mm,
all life, you have to find love. You can
yeah.
love in the first moment, and
Hmm.
you can say it for the last moment life in that person. You still loving that person, and the
Yeah.
person we know it was the magic moment. But if you decide to close the door and open a new chapter, so that
Hmm.
means it was must be good for you and also good for that person. Maybe that person
$100%.
don't know it, not understand. But
Yeah.
if you feel bad, so that between two person, it was never be good.
Mm.
And
I agree with you
yeah,
100%.
this is something like tabula rasa. So we open a new space for the new adventures.
Yes. And also, what I hope to deliver through my music and inspire men and women, um, is you need to learn to love yourself first and never give up on your life purpose, on your dreams. You feel it inside, you know if it's something that you're meant to do. So any situation that's going to prevent you from doing that is not your right situation and it's not the right person. But I do believe in soul connections. I do believe in soul contracts. And so I believe that any relationship was meant to happen. It's not coincidental. Um, you know, and it contributed to my growth as a human being, as a woman, as an artist. You know, I was able to write these beautiful songs because of my experiences. So it's really important to make sure you don't abandon yourself.
The person from Israel said, "No, my name is
My name is
Liav."
Liav.
Liav.
Hello, Liav.
Yes, sorry, I understand when sent message. It's Liav. It was mistake and have the mind.
Mhm.
It's live. Sorry, my mistake. So nice to meet you, Liav, and it's nice to you coming today and listening for us. Greetings
Yes,
for
thank you.
Israel also. And okay, we have had a lot of questions and not too many times, so we must read a bit quickly. We have a couple.
Okay, let's go.
We have a couple questions, but that questions I think it's not necessary to asking because you're giving to answer for now.
Hmm.
So we can ask about the song. It is a song also mean to be a warning to listeners? If so, what about it? If we can say asking about that.
I couldn't hear you. To be a warning.
Is this song also meant to be a warning to listeners? If
Hmm.
so, what about it?
No, not so much warning as maybe to be more awakened and understand the
Mhm.
situation. Uh, would you love someone because they're good for you, or you are in love with the potential of what they can be?
All right.
And I think, you know, at the very core, all of us sometimes get blindsided, and it's
Mm.
okay. It's part of life. It's part of growing.
What was the process of creating this song like from the initial idea to the final recording?
Mm. It was really interesting because I wrote the song on my guitar. So if you heard the very rough draft, you would probably laugh. But it's you know, it sounds very similar. We just kind of dress it up really nicely. And I remember I knew I wanted for a long time. I could hear that Hammond B3 in my head. And at the very beginning, we didn't have it. We had the guitar, bass, drums. We had a little bit of pads. And then I said, you know, we had the backup vocals. So we kind of dressed it up, you know, one thing at a time. And then I kept saying, I really want to have that Hammond B3. It's like the song is asking for it. So we contacted a brilliant musician that came in. We recorded, we took a few takes, and we kind of, when everything came together, I was like, this is exactly what I heard in my head. And I'm happy to release it now. So the creative process is really nice because we took it one stage at a time. And I think that's the smartest way to do it, especially if you want to create that live feel that I wanted to create for this album. That was
When was the single recorded?
the single. So we
Yeah.
recorded The Musicians almost 3 years
Can
ago.
you tell a little about the recording studio?
Yeah. It's a beautiful recording studio in Woodland Hills. It's called Yaniv Studio. Yaniv has top of the art instruments and equipment, which is, you know, it's like home for us at this point. I flew in the guys, two of them from New York. So we had Mark Whitfield on guitar, we had James Genus on bass, and Sean Horton was a local LA guy that came to play drums. So we recorded everything live, which is really beautiful. I had the guide vocals. So it was such an incredible experience. You know, I was in the control room and I was able to say I want a little bit more of this or less of that, and the guys were delivering. I can't even thank them enough. It sounds fabulous. It was an amazing experience.
What
Um,
was there anything particularly memorable that happened during the recording process?
I want to say yes. You know, because Mark and James know each other for a long time. Sean was kind of new to the group, never played with them before. And I feel like the synergy between everyone was almost like we've known each other our entire lives. And I think it's very rare because they were really able to pinpoint everything that I wanted. A few weeks later, I came into the studio with two of my backup vocalists. One is called Maxine Lewis. She's my mentor and my vocal teacher. She used to sing for the iCats back in the day. I'm sorry, Tina Turner.
Mm.
And the second singer is called Kadison Kai. I then, a few months later, recorded my younger brother, who did backup vocals as well. His name is
Yeah.
Yuval, brilliant singer. So we were kind of, dressing it up step by step. If I hear anything else that it needs, I said, okay, we're going back and we're gonna get it. The Hammond B3 was the last. I would say it's a cherry on the top. It was the last piece that kind of puzzled everything perfectly together.
If you had
Um,
to describe this song in one sentence to someone who hasn't heard yet,
mhm.
what do you say?
I would say this song is gonna grab you by your gut. I think that's the best description I can say. It's emotional, it's raw, it's there. You feel there's a little bit of the blues dirt in it. I wanted it specifically to be that way because it does speak of grief, like the biggest heartbreak, and also understanding that you just could not see the reality. And so this is going to touch a lot of people's hearts, I think.
Okay, we already know that the single is a preview of your first album. How did,
Mhm.
did the idea for the first particular album come about?
Ah, I think I kind of sat with myself, and it was pretty clear for me which songs are going to make it and which
Hmm.
songs should be there. Because if I go to the first one that I wrote, "Your Only Woman," and then I kind of pulled in the other songs, it's almost like it takes you through a journey, and you feel the ups and downs. And um, I don't think it was very difficult for me to choose the songs. It was pretty obvious for me what I wanted to give people. And it's a story. I'm telling a story.
Do all the songs tell a single story?
All of the songs tell a story. Yeah. You do have different sounds. You have the more rock contemporary blues. We have contemporary adult. We have a couple of ballads on the record. We have a couple of faster songs. So they all have still that blues,
But
soulful
but the
undertone.
story it was connected with your life or also with something live what you hear about another
No,
people.
this is all about my life experiences. Yeah.
100%, it's yours.
1,000%.
1000. All right. Um, will there be any musical surprise on the album?
I think so, yeah, because I think, when people hear the contemporary blues, they expect the entire album to be very bluesy. I will say this, the entire album has a really nice undertone of blues and soulful sounds, but you do have a couple of faster songs that have a little bit of 80s touch and a little
Mhm.
bit of, which is interesting, a little bit of funky touch, one of the songs even. So it is going to be an exciting journey. I will say that.
So this album, I think it was small experience. What road you choose on the future, or maybe this is only one
Mhm.
experience, and who know what happened for the second album.
Second album is going to be good too. We're already in the process of writing. So
Mhm. Can you
yeah, so
already?
I'm going to be
Yeah.
evolving. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's good to hear that all artists, I
Yes.
think, must be evolving.
Yeah.
If we're looking for the, I don't know, maybe Janis Joplin,
Hmm.
she decided open a new album with the new bands, with
Hmm.
a section there was another instrument who opened a new chapter with the for the Janis Joplin.
Hmm.
So I think every artist must try it, small evolution, little
Yes, I
bit in
agree.
life.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, so uh, Can you already reveal the planned release date for the album? Release.
Uh, yeah, planned. We're looking at around September, beginning or mid-September ish, to release the full album. So it'll be available on my website, which is www.yaeljames.com. And yeah, and hopefully we're gonna send you the entire package soon.
Okay, and so of course we be waiting, and we try to promote it everything what you try
Thank you so much.
what you send for us. And do you think music still has the power to change the people?
100%. 100%. I believe in my heart that music is love, and music can and will bring people together. 100%. I believe music is a healing factor that's very underestimated in this world. I believe it can 100% give people hope again. You know, it gave me hope in, you know, some of my darkest hours. It kind of supported me when I was going through, you know, heartbreaks, and I believe it can really bring people together 100%.
What values would you like to convey through your work?
Towards my work.
Mm-hmm.
I would say consistency, 100%. I would say staying true to yourself, 100%. Not giving up, because, you know, there's a lot of moments where you're like, okay, well, we're almost done, so let me just forget about it. I'm that type of person that will still think about it for a week.
Mm.
So I would say if something bothers you, go back into the studio and fix it. Listen to your gut. Learn to listen to yourself, because we do, you know, have a tendency, I think, as human beings to, you know, have some self-doubt, or, you know, people will give their own opinions, but at the end of the day, you need to be true to yourself. That's where everything lies.
What one piece of advice would you give to young artists starting their musical journey?
Buckle up. It's you know, the recording and the music and the writing and the studio stuff, that's the fun part. And then you get to the business of music, which is wow. As you know, especially as an independent artist, there is so much to do. So you need to be very dedicated to what you want to do. You need to understand that you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices. Social life, you know, you can't be out and doing stuff. You have to be really focused if you want to have a really good product. So, you know, it's, you know, I wouldn't even go to have dinner with girlfriends because my bedtime is like 10:30. I'm in bed because I have to keep my voice. So your lifestyle really changes. It becomes, you're like married to your music. It's the center of your life. Everything else has to come secondary to that. So you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared, but everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Just take a deep breath.
Many years ago, Stephen King published one book, and there he giving suggests what in the future must do another young writers, and he
Mhm.
write, you must be prepared to hard works. I'm when
Yeah.
start writing, I writing 8 hours per day minimum.
Wow.
So if you going to work you work one day 8 hours. So that
Mhm.
means I go to work and I work 8 hours, but I'm writing the books. So I
Yeah.
think artists, people who want to be really artists, musician or play or another
Mhm.
artist, they must prepare um, to be hard work. Yeah, definitely.
It's hard work. You have to be ready for it, because it's like I said, it's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of things that you need to put on the side in order to do this, because it does require, it requires you to be religiously attached to what you're doing. Especially if artists are going to be I was very much hands-on in this project. I know there's a lot of other artists that choose differently, and that's okay. Everybody has their own path. But for me specifically, you have to be very focused and just understand that this is your commitment. It is a commitment, 100%.
Is there anything you would particularly like to warn their against?
Yes. I would say take people's advice for what it is. It's not necessarily going to be for your personal benefit. So be very smart when you're getting advice from even people from the industry, by the way, because not everybody's going to have your best interest. Um, be careful when you're being approached by, different offers. I know for me it was very important to keep to have full control over my music, and this is one of the reasons I chose to go independent, and take the time and be able to do everything on my own. But just keep your eyes open. I think I was very very naive. I was raised to always believe in the good hearts of people, and sometimes people might not have the best intentions. So, don't be in places where you don't feel comfortable. Don't feel bad saying no. It's okay to say no.
Do
And
you know? Yeah,
nobody can, I'll just add one more
of
thing.
course, of course.
No one has the ability to destroy anything for you. So do it your way. Be true to yourself.
Okay. Do you know any Polish blues, jazz, or other artists you like?
I actually checked a little bit online, yeah. So after you guys contacted me, I was like, let me see what kind of blues they do over there. I did listen to a band called Cheap Tobacco,
Hmm.
which was they're pretty cool. I love her voice. She has a little bit of like a scratchy, even rocky undertone sound, which I
Okay.
really loved. So I listened to her a little bit. I out of the top of my head, I don't remember the other names, but I definitely she kind of caught me.
All right.
Yeah, she caught
I
my
tried
attention.
I tried to objective, so I cannot say it was good, it was bad. So I accept your opinion, and we stay with your opinion.
Yeah.
And all right, and now we have a special fast question and then one
Hmm.
answer what we want to asking, and we want to know what you think about that. And
Okay.
please, for the fast answer and not too much long, think what you want to say.
Hmm.
Little bit. You have about maybe 3-5 seconds. All right.
Okay.
So we start. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Sunrise on sunset?
Sunset.
Studio or stage?
Can I say both?
No.
I'll say stage because I've already done the studio. So let's go stage now.
Guitar or piano?
Mm, guitar. I love holding her.
Los Angeles or New York?
New York anytime.
Favorite time of day?
Evening, when it kind of gets dusk and everything kind of slows down a little bit. That's my favorite time.
Greatest musical inspiration?
Oof. Ray Charles.
Song you could listen to forever?
Wow. I want to say A Kiss of Life by Sade. I can have it on loop all day long. So
Best advice you ever received?
best advice I ever received was leave some room for magic.
Dream you haven't yet fulfilled?
Dream I haven't fulfilled yet. I would go back to being on stage, big venues, festivals worldwide with my music. Yeah, that's the next one up.
Okay. And
Hmm.
in closing, what valuable message would you like to convey to Radio ROLF listeners around the world?
Mm. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us today and giving me this platform. Thank you, Lucas. I would say be kind to yourselves, be kind to other people. Everybody's always going through something that we don't know, we can't see. Um, just be kind. It doesn't cost anything to be nice, and be patient. And that's it. Be good to each other.
Yes, this is beautiful what we're listening today. And
Hmm.
in the last moment, I want to say thank you, of course, for you have time to be my guest. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, it's to the ROLF Music ROLF special broadcast for the artists on the world in Radio Online, Lucas Frankenstein. Thank you for
Hmm.
your time, for your answer. Thank you, your share, for your soul, for your inspiration, for your motivation,
Thank you.
and for all information what you send for the people. And in the future, they can back for that answers and listening one more time. Of course,
Please.
all websites now I sending special information about your website to the person.
Hmm.
If everyone want to see it and read much more about my guest, Yale James. Yeah, Yale James. Sorry, I tried to.
Yael. We'll try it again.
Yael
Yael.
James.
Yeah.
Yael
Yael.
James. Just
You
simple,
got it.
Yael James. So this is a website, Yael James. And if someone in the future want to check what happened with a new album, what we have the effects after that first and second singles,
Hmm.
because now we have it in a website also second singles,
Hmm.
Midnight
Hmm.
Lullaby,
Yeah.
and
Midnight Lullaby.
yeah, Lullaby. And
Hmm.
really, I want to send and share with the music, but unfortunately, the social media not accept the music artists, so they cannot delete that. But definitely,
Hmm.
everyone who want listening must go to the website
Yes.
yaeljames.com. All links
Hmm.
to social media and Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube you find in down and all social media in the comments, and also on the website lukasfrankenstein.com, and of course on website Yael James. There is also links when you can see it to left side, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. You have it also biography and wonderful photos and music, and probably soon information about your concert live
Yes. Very soon.
very soon. If we can say it, if you know, when we can expect the first concert live,
We're hoping it's going to be towards October, but we'll
October,
definitely keep you updated. Yeah, we'll definitely let you know.
and that be in a
Mm.
first moment on United States, or you may be planning in the next year also in Europe.
I'm planning definitely Europe, not just the United States, Europe, the Asias, um, all over the place.
All right.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we'll be waiting definitely for you and for your bands.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best. And
Thank you so
we'll
much,
be in the
Lucas.
touch in the future. I believe it. We have it another interview when we can spoke about all songs, or
I would
maybe
love that.
with your tournée when with your experience with your tournée in the United States.
Mm,
And
that would
all
be great.
person like I see that another person sent message, beautiful soul, so inspirational. Why
Thank you,
you are,
Lonnie. Thanks for joining us.
thank you for that nice comments.
Hmm.
And so we'll be in touch. Thank you for all people who listening today, for us all watching, and all information always you can find on lukasfrankenstein.com. All material it was recorded, so you can back to the channel YouTube, and
Hmm.
links you can find on the website lukasfrankenstein.com. And you can one more time listen that, why not, and in the future
Why not?
yeah, why not in the future that be also published on Spotify and Apple Podcast. So be prepared on the links what I soon added to the website.
Mm.
Yael James, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lucas. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.